Where and when do you consider your rise to internet celebrity status? Where did this all start? When did you first come onto the internet?
I first went back in like 2014, and I was like, I started I started when I was like 14 years old. I felt like, I got my first smartphone. I got a Samsung Galaxy like S3, I believe. I don't know, remember which one it was. But I started Instagram, and at first, a couple months, didn't really get much followers. A couple years, didn't really get anything. And then once it started to rise, once I got closer to like 2015 to 2016, I don't know really what happened. It just kind of sparked. I worked hard, and I guess people were starting to notice me. I really don't know. It just kind of sparked. Something happened.
Do you
Right.
think that you really hit a niche sort of do you think people really found a way to relate to your content and your material like you're just kind of another person trying to relate to everyone else, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that great looking when it comes to like, if you relate me to a bigger person and a more like more less average person, but a more like important person, I'm guessing most of the people like my age relate to me because I'm that guy. I'm the average guy. People can look up to, but I have a sort of like inspiration towards me, and that's what kind of draws people. I have this certain vibe that people can relate to.
Yeah.
So
Right, right, right.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I think that's where that connection truly comes from, when it comes from audience member to screen to
Mm.
content creator,
You, I think you have an interesting niche because you're not a celebrity looking down at people. You're a celebrity looking eye level with people.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, I think.
And some people say I'm very photogenic in my photos. I can kind of relate to that. So
Right, right, right.
Yeah. That's a good use of Instagram.
yeah.
All right, Zech. My next question for you is, what's your perspective? What's your general outlook or philosophy on how do you wake up in the morning and take on the day?
Well, first off, I usually like. Okay, I mean, I know you said wake up in the day, but this is like what I kind of do at first. Like at nighttime, I kind of just like I go to sleep. I I dream, and then I wake up the next day. And here's kind of how I start my day off, like with thinking a positive thought. Every day, without a positive thought, your life is kind of like you're kind of like bringing yourself down. So you want to wake up every day with at least one positive. Like I can remember some of the good times I had in my life, and those are what kind of inspires me to continue on with the day. I mean, I get a lot of hate, but I'm still that person that wants to stand up against it. I want to keep going. I mean, these kids, I can tell that some of them don't have really good lives. So, I just kind of look at them and say, you know what, that's how you feel, but I'm going to continue out through my day and stay strong. So each day I wake up with like a positive thought and I keep going. So,
Right, right.
So a lot of that is that kind of positivity and your own independence versus the world sort of thing.
yeah. And I'm trying my hardest. And what I usually do is like, since I'm different from everybody and my heart is different, like it has a different type of, like, for some reason my heart is always happy even though I'm going through, like, my family's going through a lot. I'm still having this, I have this faith inside me, and that's what brings the positivity out. It's that
Yeah,
faith that I hold on to. So
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I don't mean to pry, but hopefully everything's going all right in the Zech household, right? You're keeping your head high throughout everything.
Yeah, it's not really, there's not really much, nothing bad going on. It's just, I mean, back in high school, I lost my aunt and my grandma, so our holidays aren't really the same.
I'm
So
very
things are kind of
sorry to hear
different.
that.
So,
Yeah, I'm very
yeah,
sorry to hear that.
thanks. I mean, I'm doing good. I mean, they're watching over me, so that's all that matters. So,
Good,
Of course, of course.
good,
Amen.
but yeah,
good,
my family's fine, so we're all good.
All
good.
right. Let's get a bit more after waking up. Let's get into the day. So, what does your workout routine look like?
Most of the time, I'll usually wake up, do a push up I'll do 10 push ups. I'll keep challenging myself. Sometimes I'm able to do 20 to 30, but I usually do push ups at least every hour of the day, and then I'll change, like, once I get like 2 hours of push ups, I'll change to 2 hours of crunches. But sometimes I'll mix it up and do both. It really depends, but every time I work out, I'm always inspired because I want to be that model like material person. I want to have that body because I know it sounds really weird, but like I want to be something. I want to be that person, kind of like the Rock, right? He's got a ripped, shredded body. That's crazy, man. But like I want to be at least get to my peak. And the thing is, when I work out, man, I always have that sense of inspiration. So when I work out, I have my music in, and I usually listen to that hardcore rock. But I do usually 10. I do every hour. I challenge myself to keep doing more. So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Do you have any post-workout meal or post-workout snack that's like your go-to to refuel?
Sometimes okay, most of the time I kind of eat junk food, but I'll usually end up changing it. Like sometimes I'll go to the store and I'll get a salad and I'll eat that for a little bit. It really depends. I mean, my body is a little different. Everybody's genes is really different, but my body seems to be able to like burn fat so fast because I'm at this young age, but it seems to usually burn fat really fast, even when I'm working out. So it's kind of like my body. I don't know what It's just
Right, right.
Would you say you're very focused on health and fitness, or do you think it's something that you should just do when you can?
well. I mean, I'm more focused on my fitness and my health because I know that I'm fine. I mean, that I went to the doctors a couple months ago and they said my health and my heart is doing good. They said that I'm pretty good, but they do want me to eat a little better, so I'm trying.
Yeah.
The junk food's really hard to get off of. You mean trust me? Once you eat junk food, you're not going back for a while.
Right,
I feel you,
right.
man. I feel you.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try to eat better. That's my goal.
Good.
It's a good goal.
That's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
Um, so about your workout routines, you said you normally try to have this intensive routine with push-ups and crunches, right? Or is there any other exercise that you like to just kind of throw in there, just to kind of spice up your routine and just
Well,
kind of get
I
the
do.
material a
This
little
is
bit
kind of
different?
something like old fashioned, but like, you ever remember back in the day where in the Greek times they used to like swing swords around and stuff like that and
Yeah.
work out their arms? Well, I usually
Mhm.
use my staff and I work out and I swing it around a couple times. I kind of like swing it around. It helps my arms a little bit because it gives me a workout, and I really like swinging a sword. I don't know what it is. It's just ever since I was a kid, I've been fascinated with swinging swords. And like back when I was a kid, I used to sword fight with my friends all the time. We used to play Star Wars sword fight around, and I guess I kind of like doing it because it's fun. So I get a really good workout. I swing as hard as I can until my arms are sore, and that's
Mm.
another type of workout.
Yeah.
Do
Sometimes I'll
you
do like leg raises too. So that's
Mhm.
awesome.
That's
Mhm.
actually excellent
Do you
because
go ahead? I'm
a
sorry.
lot of people neglect the mobility, the weight, the movement you create with a sword.
Yeah,
Mm.
200 years ago, back in 1900, we didn't have weights. You know,
Mm.
yeah.
people had swords,
Mhm.
staves,
Mhm.
maces, axes. That was
Mhm.
working out equipment.
This
Mhm.
is
Unless you were a
true.
warrior, you did an exercise. And what's a
It's an
warrior
upper
have?
body workout.
Yeah.
His
Works
weapon.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inspired because I mean, I'm part Greek myself, so I have that like drive to do it. Like I'm inspired. So
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sense of Greek
of course.
aesthetics.
Um, do you uh, do you ever include your friends in your workout routines? Do you ever invite
yeah,
your friends over so you can sword
yeah.
fight with them, or?
Sometimes I mean, they're not like compared to me. I mean, they work out. Trust me. I mean, they can probably kick me in a fight, but like the thing is that they don't like some of my friends. They don't like to work out as much as I do because I don't want to be mean or anything. They're less fit, but they still like a good workout. I'll sometimes have my friend Brandon Swag. We'll sometimes run, jog a little
Hmm.
bit. We'll jog like a couple laps around the neighborhood. He'll end up stopping, but I'll just keep going because I actually jog too. I forgot to mention that. I did track back in like ninth grade, so I'm pretty good at that. But my
Okay.
friends, we usually go outside, take a couple of jogs, and we'll play basketball sometimes. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mind if I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Do you have any like? I know that you said The Rock, but do you have any people that you look up to, like fitness related people?
Mm. I mean, I haven't really looked. I mean, there's a lot of people I look up to, but like I don't know. I mean, I haven't really gotten like I haven't seen like I if I ever do come across like fitness people, like I know there's a lot of them on Instagram, but like if I find someone, I'll let you guys know. But I really don't know it right at this point. You know,
All right,
Okay.
of course.
John Cena's pretty cool though. I like him, even though he's not much of like the. He's more of a WWE person. I think he's pretty cool.
Wait, who'd you say, John Cena?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Don't worry, Zach. We're WWE fans here.
Yeah, we got you, man.
All right. Zech, I want to go ahead and talk about your music career, and that seems to be one of the things that you're really becoming a rising star in.
Yeah.
I guess we should start kind of foundationally where it all started. How did you get into your musical career? What inspired you? How'd you get there? How'd you find your way into it?
What inspired? Well, first off, I back in ninth grade, I was just like that guy who was trying to fit in. So, I ended up like ever since middle school, I've ended up listening to music. But in ninth grade, I found a very awesome artist, and I'm sure everybody knows him. His name's Kendrick Lamar, but he's one of my favorite music artists. And there's a reason for it because it's just like his music is inspiring. So back in ninth grade, what started this whole rap thing and this whole music thing is just listening to Kendrick Lamar. I listened to him and I'm like, I really like this guy. So I just started to write rhymes a lot. I just wrote and wrote and wrote. And I eventually dropped a couple songs, but they weren't as I was just starting at the time, so they weren't as good. But at the point is, it all started when I listened to Kendrick Lamar, and after that, I had many other inspirations like Childish Gambino, Drake. I actually like. There's a couple other rappers like Tupac and Biggie. Those are one of my inspirations. And then I found Logic, and I really like him because he's very inspirational. But as soon as I started doing this stuff, at first it wasn't really getting much recognition. The only recognition I was really getting was from my area. So mainly all the school districts like in my school and other schools started noticing me, and then that kind of blew up a little bit. I ended up going to a couple parties, rap battling a little bit. I failed, but the point is that it all started when I was like 15 years old. So
Rap battle. Okay.
Nice.
Well, 15 is an impressive age to start at. Most musicians really don't get kicked into things until, maybe around their early 20s, and then they start rising through the ranks. But 15, that's a great place to get started. And I guess you said already that through rap battling, that was a great way to, I suppose, get involved in this sort of culture and the community based around the music genre. Can you speak a little bit more about those experiences, in your rap battles?
Yeah. Okay. So I had a couple back in like school. So sometimes we went to the football game. It was always going to be a black person rap battle because I'm white. So it's kind of like, okay. So I would usually rap battle a bunch of black people. I'd always end up failing because, like I said, I just started at the time, so I didn't really have that much skill in my brain at the time. I was more focused on the writing material than the freestyling. So I do want to say I ended up mastering freestyling by the time I was 16 or 17. So I ended up practicing on a couple of beats, but I'm gonna get back on subject here. So I had a couple rap battles at school. I ended up failing most of them. Had one at a party. This was actually one of the worst rap battles I had. So there's this girl I really liked, and she had a friend that was rap battling. I mean, we were all rap battling, and there was like tons of people in the room. So I don't know what I did. I kind of made this girl mad, and then she ended up coming back at me with like a really strong one, and boom, I failed. But the point is that I've learned over the years that even rap battling, it's I'm not that person that I don't like hurting people's feelings. I don't know what it is. I just don't like doing it. So I just kind of stopped after that party because I realized that it's not for me. I'm more of a person who wants to bring people up, not kind of bring them down,
Right.
That's
Now,
That's good.
what genre of music do you enjoy creating the most?
I really, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I like rap. that's when I started. Like that's all I want to do was rap. But then I really kind of like I found out another music genre that made me like fall in love with it is R&B and soul. It's like
Hmm.
singing and rapping, but it's got its own flavor to it. That's like my main favorite. So
Mhm. Um, so how did you make that jump? Were you also in, or I suppose it's not that much of a jump if you consider it to be, rapping and then that kind of soulful sound, but it is very much so two different techniques. One is obviously more lyrically focused, the other one is more, again, focused on this kind of spiritual sound, from the heart. How do you take that on in the music creating process, Zach?
what I do is, well, first, if I'm making like an R&B and soul track, I really want to be like myself. I want to be emotional. I want people to feel the feeling. But what goes through my mind at the time, I'm like, okay, this has got to be very good. It's always I want to make it good. But the thing is that I'm always having when I'm singing on that soulful part, I'm always thinking, man, I hope they like it and I hope they think it's good. And the thing is that when I switch to rap, I'm more focused on the lyrical part,
Hmm.
you know.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
really want people to think that I'm trying, and I don't want to be like one of those wannabe rappers nowadays that are just rapping for money. I do music because it's my passion, and I love music. I love making music. I'm not somebody that uses it for money. I'm using it because it's something I love doing. So,
I do have a question.
yeah.
Uh, so out of all the songs that you've made, what was your favorite song to sit down and write and then finally be able to produce and then listen to? What has been the all-time favorite song for that?
My favorite, I'd say, my recent one that everybody seems to be playing at this point.
Hmm.
It's two Asian hoes, but I don't know what it is. I like it because it sounds good, and I really I when it turned when I found out when it's the way it sounds, it sounds good. Like I like the way it sounds. Like that's the way I want my music to sound. I want it to
Yeah.
sound perfect. That's like the one song I love because it sounds so different from every song on Heartfelt too. Like
Hmm.
the whole album. Yeah, there's good songs on it, but that's like my favorite song because it's so different. It sounds different.
Right,
So you
right.
feel like Heartfelt 2 is where you're really starting to like break through and starting to find like your true like coming.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, right.
Awesome. Awesome.
Do you,
Nice, nice.
how do you compare the jump between Heartfelt 1 and Heartfelt 2? Because Heartfelt 1 was a pretty huge album when it came out. You
Yeah.
know, it had very professional looking album art. It
Yeah.
was on Spotify and it was huge. And that was, a little over a year ago, I think. And now
Yeah.
we're on to Heartfelt 2. How much do you think you've grown since
Well,
Heartfelt 1?
comparing the two albums, I really wanted to tell everybody this, and I think it will get out eventually. But like with Heartfelt One, I wasn't really like I was in the mood to rush it, so I was like I didn't know because people kept asking and asking when it was coming out. I mean, eventually you got to release it, so I had to put a lot into it. Well, I put like I spent more than like a couple months into that project. I didn't really put like a whole year. I put a whole year into Heartfelt 2. So comparing the gap between Heartfelt 1 and Heartfelt 2, I think Heartfelt 2 is better because I actually took my time and I gave it meaning. So,
Right, right, right.
but I still like Heartfelt 1. It's still a decent. It's not that bad of an album. I mean, compare it to all the other albums I made before Heartfelt 1 and it's better. So,
Right.
Awesome. Well, I think we all can agree that we all love your music so far, but I guess we want to know what are your plans for any upcoming music soon, later, a couple
I have
months. What's it sounding
well,
like?
I have two projects coming out. I really want to tell everybody this when I come back within a week or two. I have two projects coming out. One is Mr. Love Magnet 2 that will be out in the summer, and then I got my rap album, which I haven't thought of a name of it yet because I like just writing it's gonna take a while, and once I write all the songs, I think I'll have a perfect name for it.
Yeah.
But that might come out after summer because it's like rapping for me. Since I'm getting back into the rapping more, it's like
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be good. So my Mr. Love Magnet 2 will probably be out in the summer, and then the other big, the rap album is mainly just a mixtape because the album, the Mr. Love Magnet 2 is an album, and then so yeah, one's in the summer and then one's after the summer.
So is Mr. Love Magnet 2 more of your R&B soul
Yep.
kind of sound?
So
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
All right.
good. I do have a question.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, didn't you have like an EP that was coming up?
yeah, I did, but I kind of like decided to like hold off on it because I didn't know, I just wasn't really satisfied with it. So if I
Okay.
end up if I end up wanting to bring it back, I might, but it really depends on how I feel about it because
Mhm.
I was going through a breakthrough. I was like, oh, this is hard. Like I said, when I make music, I want it to be good. I don't want it to be crappy. So I'm trying my hardest to make it good. So the EP was kind of like, I can't do this. So,
Okay.
Right, right. Getting into the next topic, could you tell us a little about if you have a favorite book? One that speaks to you, one that you just enjoy.
Can it be like any book, not just a novel or?
Yeah, it can any book. Interpret it as you want.
I really like I like I'm trying to look at my books right now. I have a lot of comic books, but I really like the Dragon Ball mangas because they speak to me because like I like the anime show. So the manga, the Dragon Ball manga and the Dragon Ball Z manga, it's like when I read it each time, the person who did this manga, they really inspire me because there's something I want to do. Like I don't just want to be like a rapper and everything. I kind of want to do some like I want to get into animation and to make my own anime and all that. But it inspires me because he's got a good heart. He puts his time into his manga and he does a good job. Now, if you want a normal chapter book, I really like a long written chapter book. I really like the Indiana Jones. Those are pretty good books.
Oh, okay. I've never read the Indiana Jones books.
They're pretty good.
Now, you were mentioning Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Goku seems to be a big inspiration for you.
Mhm.
Where does Goku fit into your life?
He's like when I watch Dragon Ball and see Goku, it's like I think of Goku like an angel, and he's like that person that gives me when I'm like feeling down, he gives me the inspiration to keep going, no matter what it is. If like one day I was out, it was snowing really hard, and I was out in the snow walking in 7 or 8 inch snow. I was actually walking in my shoes, my tennis shoes, instead of boots, and I was like, man, if Goku can do it, I can do it. So I literally went to my favorite place, and then I came back like with a hard workout. So when I think of Goku, he's the guy that can do anything without giving up. And that's partially where my not giving up spirits come from. The other not giving up, I've had it. I've had this not giving up spirit since I was 7 years old. So
Right, right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite video game?
at the moment, I like the Kingdom Hearts games, but if you want a game that's like not like anime related, I like the what is it? I'm trying to look at it right now. I'm looking at all my games. I'm trying to figure out what it was. It's a first person shooter. Oh yeah, I like the Battlefield series. They're pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Nice.
okay. Which
I
is your
mean,
favorite?
I kind of like Kingdom Hearts more because I don't know. I grew up with it, so it's like part of my childhood.
Okay, okay. What's your favorite movie?
I like the Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire in it. Like that's my favorite.
Hey.
Spider-Man 2 is my favorite because it's funny. It's a good movie. So
Okay, okay. All three?
yeah, I like all three. I mean, I know a lot of people hate on the third one, but I still like. I mean, Tobey Maguire. I grew up with him as a kid, so it's like, nah, I can't let that go. That's my favorite.
Okay, okay.
I
We
feel you, I
touched.
feel you,
For
man.
my favorite TV show, like my old favorite TV show, you want to know like my favorite classic, Three Stooges are probably the greatest of all time. So,
Okay.
Mhm.
We touched on this a little bit earlier, but who are your favorite musical artists?
well, I like I said Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, Drake. I also like. I tell you a couple more I like. I really like Bryson Tiller. He's a good one. I'm trying to think because I have a whole like artist thing on my Spotify. Actually, one of my favorite artists is Joji. He's really cool. I mean, he used to be like that meme guy, but like I like him now because his music is just really deep. It hits me in the heart.
Yeah,
So
what was that? What was his YouTube channel called again?
I forgot. I think Filthy Frank or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I might have saw something by him at some
it's
point.
funny as hell though. It's a funny guy. So,
Mhm. Zech, I know you brought up Kendrick Lamar, and you might be familiar with this controversy that happened not too long ago. It wasn't anything recent, but it did happen not that long ago, where he brought a fan on stage who was white, and she
yeah,
was singing along with the song, which had a racial epithet in there, and Kendrick Lamar stopped the song and had her try it again. What is your stance on rap and the N word, and when a white audience member or singer or someone just trying to enjoy the song repeats something like the N word in an attempt just to enjoy the song? How do you feel about that? Where do you take that
well,
stance?
I feel like honestly, like okay, a black person, they're the ones who wrote the song, and they have all these like rap isn't just to black people; it's to white people too, and it's to every race and ethnicity. And I understand. Wait, so you're saying that Kendrick Lamar, he like, did he say it? Tell her to say the N word again, or did not say it?
No, no, no. Yeah, so she had said the N word. She hadn't said anything hard R. She said it, as if it were slang, just a part of the song. And then it came out. Kendrick Lamar stopped the song. He said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, let's try it again, but this time without the N word." So the next time she went through, she tried it. She didn't get very far. She ended up just saying it because it's a part of the song. The song says the word, 4 or 5 different times.
Um,
It's very much so a part of the lyricism. And
um,
so he sent her back into the crowd, and they continued the concert without her.
oh, okay. So, like I said, I mean, Kendrick Lamar, he's one of those guys that like, I don't know. I like his music, but like, you have a thing where black people either get offended if a white person says it or it doesn't say it. But the point is that with rap songs, most of the rap today is by black people, and I feel like even if they say the N word through a song, I feel like it if the person does not want them to say it, then don't say it. You know, if they do want them to say it, then say it. The whole point is that it's music. Music is art. It is where you express yourself. So that's why we have XSplit on some songs. Like that's why we have XSplit on most songs because it's a part of the controversy of rap in whatever genre you're listening to. The point is that if you're having a late racial slur, you gotta expect your white fans to say it. And if they don't say it, then you know that's your problem. The point is that I feel like it's kind of stupid. If you're saying it to someone, then it's a problem. If you're not saying it, if you're just saying it, if it's part of the song, then let it be. You know what I'm saying?
So you think it's
It's
about, the context and the intent of the use of the
yeah,
word really that matters. It's very important.
yeah. I feel like if it's not directed towards anyone, then you can say it. If it's directed towards someone, then don't say it.
Agreed.
That's
Okay.
Now, what if it were in the song that it were hard R, let's say, in some case? I know there are some rappers who mock racism by using the word in the hard R sense, in the hard R case. Would you still use, or I'm sorry, would you still agree on that same standpoint that even though it's hard R, that, it's a part of the song, it's a part of the music, it's not hurting anyone? Or would you rather the word kind of be casualized through slang?
well. I feel like people should just. Well, I feel like well, if it's implemented on if it's implemented on the hard R, then like if it's trying to offend something, then they shouldn't say it. But I feel like I don't know. It's kind of disrespectful to black people. I understand that, but I feel like it's just the world gets so offended by things so easily. Like I feel like it's become a problem. Like back then, you didn't have these problems as much. Now if you walk in, if you say the word faggot or say something to someone, and people will get offended so easily. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Especially with the N word nowadays. I mean, anyone is really trying to catch people on things that they've said years ago.
yeah.
Um, personally, I'm thankful because I've never been caught, saying the N word, and I never have said the N word, and I hopefully, nothing happens in which I do say the N word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that that's something to look out for. People kind of going back
I just, like I said, it depends on if you're saying it towards a person. If you're saying it towards anyone, don't say it. If it's part of something, then you can say it. Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. So.
Right.
Yeah, man. I feel you.
All right. Well, Zach, I want to ask you, or I'm sorry, Zach, I apologize. I want to ask you one last question about your music. Where do you see your musical career going on in the long term and in the short term? I know you already talked about your two projects, but what about in a couple of years from now, maybe 5 years from now, 6 years from now? Like, what's the long-term plan?
Well, let's just say like my two projects don't go anywhere. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people that really want my music to really want me to keep dropping music, but the thing is, if it doesn't get anywhere within a couple years span, then I'm probably just gonna throw in the towel for a little bit. I'm still gonna practice, like I'm still gonna write. I'm still gonna just practice on my craft. But the thing is that I'll have to get into something else for a while. I'll have to either get a job or do something productive. And like I said, I have an extra plan, and that plan is getting the animation and start working on stuff, and do it off of YouTube. I mean, I could get more views and more people watching my videos if it's not just gaming videos, and So I mean, I want to do more things, but the point is that I'm still gonna try to make a living. And since I have so many followers on Instagram, it's kind of like I can use that and I can do more things. I can bring more content. I can make more people happy. I can bring people positivity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
That's a good goal.
The
That's a good
valiant act,
mindset to
man.
have.
So like if
Um,
I don't get anywhere, I'll just continue giving inspiration, giving good content, and trying my hardest. That's all I
That's
can do.
good.
that's good.
Good mentality,
It's
man.
awesome. It's awesome.
Okay, Zach, this was bound to be brought up, and I've been very interested in your answers in this. But how do you feel about our president shutting down the government to build his wall?
I mean, to build the big wall that
Yeah, build the border
Yeah,
wall.
that one.
fond of
Yeah.
that wall.
Yeah,
To me,
Um,
sounds like he's just throwing a big temper tantrum.
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
I really feel like it's unnecessary. I mean, building a wall isn't really going to do anything. All it's going to do is make more people mad. And also, think about it this way: yeah, a wall can do something, but even people can easily get into the United States just by, if someone really wants to, they can just dig a hole underground and keep digging. They can do that if they really want to. It might take a
Yeah, but
couple of years, but I feel like it's very unnecessary because, I mean, in all honesty, everybody deserves to be good. Everyone deserves a chance to be somewhere. Doesn't matter if
yeah.
you want to go to the United States, if you want to go to Canada. You don't see Canada's president doing, or whoever controls Canada, building a wall for
Well,
Canada.
the thing with that, the reason why Canada doesn't have a wall is because the thing is down in Mexico, like
Yeah.
what they're doing, right? They're crossing the border, they're committing crimes.
Um.
But here, we don't cross their border and commit crimes there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we don't go there for like the benefits that the country has and to attack the country.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like it's very unnecessary because I mean,
Mhm.
what if there's people that have information? Like, how are they supposed to get across? Like, people have families. It's kind of.
and
I mean,
yeah, they do have
yeah,
families, and it's important, but so do American so do American government workers. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but the Democrats are keeping the government shut down just so, they can go off and they can filibuster everything. And it's so annoying because you have government workers who are living paycheck to paycheck.
I,
Mhm.
I'm going to agree with
It,
Zach
I,
here and say that, if you want to come to our country, why should you not be allowed to? I
Yeah.
don't see
mm,
Mexico stopping us from going there.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
Yeah.
I think the United States and Mexico, we need to be even Steven.
Hmm.
I feel
Well,
like he
you
should just. I
go
feel
ahead,
like
Zach.
he needs to make an agreement. Like
Hmm.
he needs to make a treaty or something instead of just building a wall. Because now it just. I mean, yeah, his whole casinos have already gone bankrupt. Those are his whole everything he owns has gone bankrupt. So this wall is just gonna be another. He's trying to make his territory basically. He's trying to. He's got such an ego. He needs to just calm down with it. You know.
You're actually absolutely right. Because, he's lost everything. Like, this wall is all he has. Like,
Hmm.
once he's done being president in 2 years, like, the wall is going to be his only piece of property.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I still think that there's still a lot of blame to take in this, and there's
Yeah.
too many people being affected by it.
Yeah. But like you said, like all his companies have gone bankrupt. That's gonna be his only piece of property left. He still owns part of his company, you know.
Yeah.
And then like the thing like the treaty, I agree with you there. Like there could be other alternatives that we can do, but it's just like why make those alternatives when we go like I don't know if it was I can't remember if it was you or the host that said like we should be on an equal playing field, but like
Yeah.
Mexico has strict immigration laws that we don't have. Like if you
True.
cross the border over to Mexico, you get arrested, and
Hmm.
then they have to get the embassy involved, and then you have to pay a fine for crossing the border, and then like you could potentially stay in jail down there. You know what I'm
Zach,
saying?
I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'm not sure you're aware of this. You might have heard of this, but did you know that the president of Mexico has been in power for about 6 years now,
Wow.
unquestioned? I mean, that's the kind of country we're bordered next to. Nothing against Mexico. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against the
Yeah. I
country, the
mean, there. I
people.
mean, if it wasn't for Mexico, some of our stuff wouldn't be manufactured over here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, Zech, I am going to go into a quick ad read real quick. This is where we're going to put in an edit. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this real quick. Give me just a moment.
All right.
I'd like to say thank you for today's sponsors, MeUndies. MeUndies sources the only fine, softest materials for their undies and work only with factories that take exceptional care of their employees. At MeUndies HQ, they've assembled an incredible, experienced team dedicated to all the right things. It's those people working together that makes MeUndies special. For a limited time only, use crew code for 20% off at checkout. I'm sorry, I'll repeat that. Use the code CREW, that's CREW, for 20% off at checkout. Not only does MeUndies want to hook you up with awesome and amazing offers, but they want to make sure you feel comfortable in every arena of life, even the more personal ones. MeUndies wants you to know that now they offer premium, ultra soft nylon weave adult disposable underwear for those of you who get a little dirty in their diapers. And at the end of the day, they're here to make you feel good. Seriously, because when you feel good, you can do anything. Make a statement, make a difference, make nice. Make it while you fake it. Make a move. Make some noise, and it's up to you. Thank you, MeUndies. All right, let's
All
go and
right.
get back into this.
All right, Zach. Let's talk a little bit about your online presence.
Yeah.
You've been on the internet for a long time. Let's focus a bit now on Instagram and
All
things
right.
that have made you popular. You
All
know,
right.
all your fans of you know, undeniably, your most popular video has been the Joker Show. That
Yeah.
was that was it. Like, would you not agree that's been your most like popular video ever?
Yeah. I would
Now,
agree. That's one of my most popular.
now, kind of give us the timeline of the Joker Show, the rise and fall, why you did it, why you continued, and then eventually why you stopped.
So I started the Joker show because I really like the Joker, and I like Mark Hamill. He's a good Joker, and then I just don't know. He's an awesome character. I really like him. He's funny. Um, but like I really feel like when I started this, I wasn't expecting it to get too much buzz because I have that sort of I'm so good at acting to the point where it's kind of scary. So I started making these Joker videos, and after a while, I quit because I felt like people were getting scared by it, so I didn't want to do it.
Right.
That's the main reason. So
Have you ever auditioned for anything? Any roles, theater, anything like that?
I've never done it at all because like I haven't had the chance to. But if I ever do get the chance, I'll try. I mean, I'm a good actor. I can do pretty much. I'm so dramatic, but at the same time, I'm good. So
Mhm.
Right,
That's
right,
good.
right.
Good.
Let's talk a little bit more about your online presence. Let's ask about, the Zech gang.
yeah.
Brandon Swag, Brandon Barry, L Cool, the Bodyguard. Could you tell us a few things about these guys?
All right. So starting with Brandon Swag, I've known this guy since like I was in 11th grade. He's like my best friend. And I appreciate all he's done for me. And we've gotten in a couple fights, but overall, he's a great friend. And he's my closest friend. But really, it's just like my group of friends I hang out with. So, starting with uh, Alpha. His name is Dark Dix now. I don't actually know. I think he's like I don't forgot his name, like the Grand Alpha Wolf or whatever. I don't know. He keeps changing his names over and over. But second Brandon, he's a good guy, but like people like really don't treat him with respect, and I think it's because of the things he's done. But I don't understand, like online on the internet, it doesn't define who you are in person. Because I actually know Brandon Barry in person. I know the guy in person. He's a good person. He's a good friend, but people keep bullying him. So the point is that I've known him since high school. I know who he really is. And then El Cool, let's just say me and him aren't really friends anymore. We aren't really he's not part of our group because he ended up something, I don't know, man. Like he made some new friends and something like went down. I don't know exactly, but he decided once he got his car, like once he got his new car, he literally changed. He like made new friends and he's hanging out with the wrong crowd. But I've tried talking to him. He doesn't want to be my friend anymore, so we kind of stopped talking to each other. And then my bodyguards, one I can't say their names because they don't like being brought up, but one of them is my closest friend. Like we've talked since me and Brandon Swag talk, but it's usually just me, Brandon Swag, and him that talk, and we just chill out and play video games. But he's considered my bodyguard because he's really strong and he's got like more muscle than like me and Brandon, so it's kind of like if we're ever in danger, he's like our bodyguard. And then you got my other friend. He's black. I can't say his name as well, but he's more stronger than my other bodyguard. But that's Brandon Swag's bodyguard. And the thing is that we're all just a group of friends that hang out. But I call him bodyguard. I call those two guys bodyguards because they have strength beyond measures. And if I'm into trouble, they might defend me. Doesn't mean I might when I'm famous and really big, I might have to get new bodyguards because I'm not sure if they want to come with me, on the road to my fame. Really depends on their personal life. This goes for Brandon Swag and the other Brandon. I'm not sure if I end up being successful and they're still, down there below me. I'm not sure if they're gonna want to come along or not. That's the thing I worry about. So if they're not with me, I'll have to make some new friends, get new bodyguards, and So
Right, 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 right. Um,
yeah.
do you think you'll ever stop being an online presence, or will you continue to do this for as long as possible? Where do you see your online presence in the short term? Where do you see it in the long term?
Um. Well, I mean, I had quit a little bit. I've deleted my accounts a couple times because I had some personal reasons behind it. But I feel like I shouldn't let those personal reasons get to me because it's eventually it's gonna stop. But the point is, I feel like I can keep going. The thing is that I'm not sure. Like when I'm on the internet, everybody pretty much knows where I live. They know exactly. They know where I live. They know they know like everything about me. Not like everything like personal. They just know the personal things like my privacy life, so they can do stupid things. And the point is that if I want to, it's either I have to, if I have to keep going for my dreams, or I have to protect my family. But I realize I can't let my family be the priority, because I my family, my mom and dad are getting old, and pretty soon here I won't be living in this house anymore, and I'll have to move out eventually. So I don't have any other way to kind of survive. So
Mm-hmm.
if I really want to, because my mom is like 69 and my dad's 64. So eventually they're not going to live that long. While I'm in my 20s and 30s, I have to live off of something. I mean, getting a normal job won't always be help, but if I can keep having faith and keep going towards this online presence, I should get somewhere. I should. I just have to keep trying, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
If it's not too personal, could you get into the reasons you've closed down your accounts? Like each one? I believe you've closed 4 accounts, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. For, uh, so, I really don't like sharing this, but I can share some of the podcast because I feel like it's okay. And I mean, honestly, nothing can happen. I mean, we've already got most of it situated.
Only if you're comfortable, buddy.
I mean, I'm comfortable, but anyways, basically, they since everybody knows my address, basically, they know where I live. They can send pizzas over here and do a bunch of bullshit. So I end up getting pizzas here, and we have to tell them over and over, we didn't order that. We didn't order that. So it's since I got doxxed, basically, I don't. The thing is that my family, my mom, my it's mainly just my sister and my mom, but they get really upset with me because they blame me for being on the internet because of these people, these haters that supposedly think it's okay to send pizzas over. And one time, actually, uh, they found out my mom and my sister's numbers, so they ended up trolling my mom and sister, and basically they had to change their numbers in order to you know, to get by. And so my mom and my sister were so mad at me that's why I had to delete 3 or 4 accounts, and it's because people wouldn't leave my family alone. So they were getting in my privacy life. So eventually my sister changed her number, my mom changed my number, I changed my number,
Mm-hmm.
and we just kind of left it off. So now all we usually get is pizzas, and I'm not really too concerned about my personal life because at the end of the day, we've already contacted the every fast food restaurant that comes by here. So if they end up coming by, they'll know exactly that if we don't call or we don't buy anything from our actual name, then they can't order it. So you know
Wow,
that's what.
so it's become so intense that you've actually had to go and directly contact. Have Now let me ask you this: have you been in touch with like the local police department to try to figure
Yeah,
this all out?
yeah, literally, we tried calling the cops at one point and trying to get this to stop, but surprisingly, the law can't do anything about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
either A, I delete my account, or B, I deal with it. So, you know.
Hmm. So how are you planning on dealing with it? Not saying that it will happen or it should happen or anything like that, but in the future, if anything would happen, forbid that it does.
Well, all I have to do is just keep. Well, it hasn't happened recently because let me tell you something. They've probably made so many orders online and all that the pizza places know about it. So if anything, they're not coming by or anything, so I don't have to worry about it. It's only when there's either a new person employed that comes by, and we have to tell them. But the point is that it doesn't bother me because at the end of the day, I'm thinking like if these kids want to try to bring me down, I'm not gonna let them. I'm gonna keep going strong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, has it ever happened where the pranksters or the trolls or whatever word you want to use to describe them, have they ever actually paid for the food and then
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
be
One
delivered and
time,
you've just gotten
uh,
a free meal?
actually, actually, since they've never really paid for it or anything, but recently I got a free pizza, and one of the pizza places that live near here, like if you order pizza from their place, if they don't if you don't pay for it, but if somebody else pranks you or something, they'll just give it to you for free. So I got a free cheese pizza one day. So
Wow. So I
Nice.
guess there are
Nice.
persons getting a lot of attention on the internet then, eh?
yeah.
Staying sort of on topic, let's kind of get into the bullying. I
Yeah.
understand you are quite the victim of bullying on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube.
Yeah.
How do you think this has come about, and what is your approach to combating it?
Well, the thing is that these kids, I know they're like younger than me, because if they were older, they would already be mature enough to, they wouldn't be acting like that. So I know that these kids are all like either in high school or middle school. So I know for a fact that depending on how old they are, it really doesn't affect me. If they were in their 30s, then it would affect me a lot. But no 30-year-old would think about, doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think what really stands that makes me the bigger person is when they try to do something, I just ignore it. And I only focus on the positive people, because that's all that matters. The positive people are going to make a big impact on your life. The bullying, I know deep down it will eventually stop. I just have to keep going. So.
Right. And as we've looked at your history of bullying, we've seen a lot of incidents come and go. And with fame, with attention, comes accusations, comes lies. I understand you are messaged by a lot of catfish, a lot of people, even some of them posing as underage girls, messaging you, trying to accuse you of certain acts. Could you kind of get into that a little bit, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I can get into that. Yeah, so I'm the type of guy that really likes girls. I'm sure everybody knows it. It's not much of a surprise. So I can tell you a recent story. This is partially the reason why I'm off Instagram right now, and I'll be coming back on the 29th of January. But this is my main reason. It's because I got catfish. Okay, so there's this guy. Okay, first of all, his girlfriend's up messaging me, and I'm like, damn. She says she lived in Missouri, and we were gonna hang out. I thought it was real. So this girl I don't know why she wanted to message me in the first place, if she had a boyfriend. You'd think they'd be happy together, since they're dating. But anyways, she ends up messaging me. We end up having a conversation. She seems like a legit person. Like I'm always smart, and I can always read through these catfishes. Like, but you'd think by now I know. But something about this person, they were just really good at it. And I know why, because it wasn't the dude that was actually typing the message. It was his girlfriend. That's why it was so hard to tell, who was what. So she says she's coming over, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, I get to finally hang out with someone for one. I finally hang out with a girl. And she says she's on her way. I get a message about 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock saying that she's in the hospital and it's her quote unquote friend.
Right.
And I feel like it's my fault because, it's snowy and it's icy out. So I would think, why would someone risk their life just to see me? So basically, they lied to me and told me that she was in the hospital. And then I kind of felt very emotional at the time. So I felt like it was my fault. And so at the end of the day, I ended up kind of looking into it more. And I looked on this website called Missouri Accents, because they usually tell you exactly like what accents happen at what time. I never saw this person's name on it once. So I posted that, and then her boyfriend came and told me they were catfishing me. And that's when I just felt like shit, because I didn't know exactly. I couldn't read through it, I was stupid. So, yeah.
See, I actually remember that when that was happening. It was on your story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Let's take it back over
Wait,
a
wait,
year
wait,
ago.
wait. I do have something, Zach. Do you have anything like you want to, like, since he's more than likely not going to watch this, is there anything that you wanted to, like, say to the guy? Like, anything you want to get off your chest right now to just make it feel better, you know?
Oh, I would like to tell him you're an asshole, and I hope that one day I get revenge. Maybe I might even take your girlfriend. You know, if I get enough power, I might just do it myself.
Dude,
You know,
nice.
her, leave her, and make you feel the pain I feel. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Does it feel better to get it out?
Yeah, I felt better.
I was
Good,
about to
man.
say, I'd imagine it would. Um, Zech, you mentioned that you wouldn't be returning until around January 29th.
Yeah.
Did you set that date? Is that something you set specifically, or is that just
Yeah.
kind of
The reason for it is because, well, on that day I'm getting a brand new game, so I just wanted to post something about it. You ever heard, like, yeah, like I said, I like Kingdom Hearts, so the third game's releasing on the 29th, and I really want to share it with everybody. So it's a good game, and I felt like I could post a little more. And since I'll be feeling a lot better, and since it's not, since it's like a day where I can finally play something. I've been waiting for this game for like 2 years. So imagine waiting 2 years for a game,
Yeah.
And it's just gonna make me. I'm just gonna be happy on that day. So it's good. It's a good day to post. So,
Right, right. Getting back into rumors and accusations, well over a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago, it might be at this point, the first big time someone tried to expose you, and they were trying to expose you for talking to an underage girl, and it was huge. It was all over Instagram. Can you kind of
yeah.
talk about that and what that was like from your end?
All right. So are you talking about the one where it's like that DM and it's like
Yeah,
leaked?
yeah.
Uh, um. So basically, there's this girl. I don't know. I don't even think it was a girl. I feel like it was a guy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very obvious.
Right.
But the thing is that this person was DMing me, being all flirty, and I was just really not in the mood for it. I didn't want anything to do with this person. I just wanted kind of peace and subtlety because I was going through a lot at the time. Because at 2 years ago, my aunt died and everything, so I was just going through a lot. And so she's like, "Oh, you want to meet up and all this bullshit." And I know it was a guy. And then in the message I do say I don't fuck girls that aren't patient. So I wasn't really meaning I wouldn't fuck her. I was just saying that I was saying it in a term to be offensive.
So
I
you
would,
would fuck her, you know, like
yeah,
if the circumstance was, yeah, in a
if she
respectable
was my
manner,
age,
yeah.
if she was my age, but the point is I wasn't really intending to at all. I had no intention to do that. I was saying that because she was being annoying and she was being flirty, so you know.
Oh, so you weren't saying it in like a flirting tone. You were saying it more of an offensive tone. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
was trying to like
like
draw her off, you know?
like you wouldn't give her the time of day.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot more important things to worry about, like what I had plans of friends that day, and I had a lot going on. So
Mm, that's
Uh,
fair. That's fair.
Zach, there is something I wanted to ask you about, and it's fairly recent. Like, I think you posted about it on your story, but
yeah,
it was a leaked screenshot of uh, a girl messaging you saying that she wanted. I don't know if it was you or her saying that she wanted to talk to you again, and like you said, like either that person or you said, yeah, sure, go ahead and call. But
oh yeah,
uh, are you aware of a set? I want to know if this is fake or if this is true or not. But there is a second leaked screenshot that goes down below those messages, and it comes up with a uh, Alex instead, like the name
oh
Alex.
that's photoshopped. That's photoshopped. I actually know who I was talking to. I don't want to say her
Okay.
name though because
Hmm.
then
Yeah, to
I
be
don't want to.
respectful. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a Photoshop photo because like I said, that's weird. But
Hmm.
I, I w-
um,
I will make a
it's a
small correction though. The name was
yeah,
Adam on the
Oh,
second.
Adam.
yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry. It's been a minute
It's
since I've
fake.
seen it.
It's a screenshotted. But I know. All I'm gonna say is this: she's a girl. She's someone I've hanged out before, and she's a redhead, and she's a ginger. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, all
So
right, all right.
that's all. I know who it is now. So I don't know
Oh.
why she would have the intention of actually leaking that DM though, because that was like 3 years ago. So I don't know. I feel like
Mhm.
she just wants to talk to me again and mess with me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, how'd you get a hold of the screenshot? Well, how did people get a hold of it? Like
But
you said that she
don't
leaked
know,
it, right?
like, I feel like she like the thing is that one of the meme accounts like showed it to me and it's like, yo, dude, were you talking to this girl? And I was like, wait, I just seems familiar because like I swear to God, like I don't know why she would do that. Like I don't know. I feel like I know for sure, for a fact, it was her who leaked the DM for sure because
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like she's trying to mess with me again. Like
Mhm.
she's one of those girls that she has a problem. I mean, she smokes weed
Yeah.
all the time and
Mhm.
she does a lot of weird stuff.
Mhm.
And she's one of those girls that I'm trying to stay away from because
Yeah.
in an instant she could just get me in trouble. So
Mhm. Is she trying like things now to get you in trouble, like on Instagram and stuff?
I don't
Like, do
know.
you
I
think
don't
she
know.
made the fake Adam thing?
No, I don't think she would have made that. I think some other meme account like edited that and put Adam in there. So,
Okay.
Oh, all right.
but let me tell you something for a fact. I was not talking to a guy. That DM is from someone I know in real life.
I was just making sure because there have been a lot of accusations as of recent that have like been calling you gay and stuff, and I
Yeah, I'm
know
not
that.
gay. Like I like girls. Like
Yeah.
I do. So
Right. Now, as we said before, you've experienced a lot of catfish, you've experienced a lot of bullying, a lot of accusations. But in your online career, what do you think you would call the lowest Zech moment? Like, when did you hit rock bottom?
like when the lowest like time, the time where no buzz was going around.
Well, I would say more like inside, personally, like where something happened. What was the worst thing that's happened to you online? I can remember a time, I believe it was the last time you deleted your account. You came on to everyone, you were almost teary-eyed, and all you did was tell everyone, I'm going to delete my account. I can't tell you guys why. If you feel comfortable, could you kind of touch on that a little bit?
Oh yeah. Well, that was the time. That was the time when my family got mad at me because there's a lot of stuff going on with the bullying and stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's why I deleted it, and I was tearing up because I didn't understand why my family would be so mad. I mean, there's other ways to handle it, but since now, like I returned at a good time because my family now knows about it all, and we're working it out.
Hmm.
Like if anything happens, like literally, my family hasn't had any problems with anybody, so we're in peaceful times right now. And even if this gets out, it won't make a difference because we're well aware, and our numbers are changed, and we have a whole. If someone calls us now, especially if someone calls me on my phone, because my
Hmm.
number recently got leaked, but I figured out a way to make that when they call me or text me, they can't get to me because I have this app where it like blocks all calls unless they're in my whitelist or in my call list. They can't call me at all. So
Oh, all
um,
right, all right.
the point is that's when I was tearing up is because I was just so angry. I wanted to be happy, but
I'm glad you talked about that because that was
Hmm.
one of the bigger mysteries, like the big
Yeah.
Zech mystery, because no one knew why. All the other times your account had been deleted, everyone kind of knew what was going on, but this is the first time you've come out and talked about that particular incident. And
yeah, it was just everybody was getting in my private life, and it was hard to be on the internet at the time. So
but of course after that you came back with the Peter Parker account, and I would say that account has had more of the current account has had more of a positive environment more so than any other of your past accounts.
yeah,
Hmm. I agree.
I like that account. I just like the name because I like Spider-Man.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Nice, man.
Well, I suppose I can try and lighten things up a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask the group, how are you guys doing? How's your love life going? How you guys doing in the romantic field, eh?
Oh, I get it when Lisa will give it to me.
Yeah,
I
Lisa.
feel you, man. I feel you. The same here, really. You
Yeah.
know, 5 years sometimes. Man,
Yeah.
it just gets harder and harder.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, sometimes it's kind of like, you work so hard for them. You get them, everything, beautiful dresses, that they like, and sometimes they turn their backs on you and they betray you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's sort of
I
a
know
thing.
what you mean, man. I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
I go to the store, I give her a dozen red roses, I come in, and like she doesn't know what true love is.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
you, Tommy. I
Honestly,
feel you,
she's
Tommy.
tearing me apart.
Feel you, Tommy.
and I feel, bro.
But I love Lisa
Yeah, what?
so much.
Uh, are you doing all right, Zach, or is everything going on with you?
Yeah, I prefer to be single. It's just the way I roll. I mean, at this point in time, I really don't have time for dating. You
You're
know,
single by choice.
I literally think that like soon though I will get a girlfriend, but she's gonna be one person in person. It's just gonna be someone in person because I want to just
Mhm.
kind of instead of dating online, it's just gonna be I'm just gonna be friends with everybody online. But when it
Yeah.
comes to real life, I'm gonna date someone in person.
Do
Well,
you
Zach, have
prefer
you
dating
tried?
in
Oh,
real life
good.
over dating people on the internet?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you prefer dating people in real life over dating people on the internet?
Yep,
Yeah.
prefer it that way because I don't
Um,
know trust at this point. You know.
mhm.
Yeah.
Have you tried like dating apps that are correlated to your
Yeah,
area to try to
I
find
those
somebody?
are like crap. They're like you can like for example Tinder. I've tried almost every dating app. It's just crap. You know, it's bad, very bad.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually had like a successful like Tinder date go off?
No, not at all. Like
No.
every Tinder, like it seems like every girl on Tinder is not on Tinder anymore. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's just
Now,
kind of the luck of
you
the draw, I
mentioned wanting
suppose.
to you mentioned wanting to stay single. Are you aware of the MGTOW movement?
What is that?
That's men going their own way. And to
Oh yeah,
summarize it, it
yeah,
means, we're not your protector, we're not your provider, and we're not your sex object. That is
yeah.
our message to women.
Oh yeah, I'm
Do
aware
you
of it.
relate to that?
Yeah, there's this guy on YouTube that really inspires me. I forgot his name, but he's very inspirational, and he's like one of those dudes that he like he tells like he his one of his quotes is you got to fulfill your legacy. That's the main quote. A man's legacy is more important than a woman's heart.
Uh,
Because the thing is, if you want to please a woman, you have to have money, you have to have cars, you have to have clothes, you have to have a life before you can get the girl. The thing is, you work on your legacy, you work on yourself because when you're in your early 20s, you're at your prime of your life. So you want to live that life until you're ready. And once you get in your 30s and 40s, you're like, I'm going to be ready. You know what I'm saying? The
Hmm.
Mm.
legacy is the most important. So
who
So,
said this?
I forgot his name, but like he's a cool guy. He's like,
Do you
oh,
know? You said he was on YouTube, right?
yeah.
What is this channel based around?
His channel's based around like men and dating and all that. It's pretty cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Zach, you may kind of mention how like 30s to 40s, that's when you've built yourself up into this person who's, very well rounded and whatnot. So, do you plan later in life for, long-term monogamy, something like marriage, having children?
Yep.
Is that something, in your
The
life?
thing is that my last name Strumsky. You see, throughout my whole family, I'm the only one left that can like carry on the Strumsky name. So if I want to make this name not die, I have to marry someone in order to keep it.
Yeah.
So I'm like the only. I have a legacy within the Strumsky family. It's to keep it alive. Because if
Yeah.
I'm not the person who can carry it, then it's not Strumsky's not going to be around when everybody else in my family dies. So
Hmm. I
it's
feel
up.
you.
Yes, I will get married one day. I will have kids. I will. I just right now I got to focus on my legacy. So
Do you have any
Okay.
names in mind for kids?
yeah. I know it sounds self-explanatory, but for a boy, I like Zachary. For a girl, I like what was her name? Um, dang, I forgot the girl's name, but it's something. I forgot her name, but there's a couple girl names I like, but I like the boy named Zachary. I'm trying to think of the other name. Can't remember at this point. So
All right, all right.
Oh, Zach, going back on stuff that you were talking about, you said you like the Dragon Ball series, right?
yeah,
What is your favorite entry in the series? You know, like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. Which one's your favorite?
I really like the Dragon Ball because like it tells you how Goku met his friends and how he
Mm-hmm.
became this warrior. You know,
Yeah.
it really like touches my heart because it just shows you as when he's a kid and he grows up to be an adult. I just like it. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is that Dragon Ball has a lot more like it has more of like a kind of like a slice of life to it. Whereas
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Dragon Ball Z and GT and Super have more of the action pack to it. But if you watch Dragon Ball, it's like more of a slice of life / action. So
Okay, I feel you. I feel you.
Right. Earlier, you compared yourself to Goku. You said he was a hero. You want to be like him. You know, if there's a Goku, there's a Frieza. Who is your metaphorical Frieza in life?
is my metaphorical Frieza.
Yeah. Who is your villain in life?
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be a
I
person. It could be a concept. It can be anything.
I'd say like, can I like name a Star Wars character?
Of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anakin Skywalker of Revenge of the Sith. That's like my dark side.
Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Like he whenever Anakin like has the red eyes and the like the lightsaber, like thinking of Anakin Skywalker, I like the dark side of him because it's like he's all confused. He doesn't know what's going on. He's trying to figure out like why is he doing this and what's gonna happen to his life. I feel like I can relate to Anakin when it comes to the dark side because it's like when he turned evil, he lost everything. He lost Padme. He lost his will to understand the good side, and he has that sort of emotion to him, you know.
Right.
So do you prefer the prequel Star Wars movies over the originals? And what do you think about the new Star Wars movies?
The originals are my favorite. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are my main favorites. But the newer Star Wars movies aren't in my favorite. I really feel like they messed up like really bad. Like,
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think the new Star Wars movies are really that good at all. I think The Force Awakens was enjoyable, but I think the one that came after that, I don't even remember the name of it. I just thought it was terrible. I thought it was awful. You know, I didn't think it
I
was a
feel
good
like
movie at all.
they really, if they wanted to make The Force Awakens good, they should have added more lightsaber battles.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Couldn't agree more.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's what makes Star Wars so cool and so attractive. You know, is that idea of space battles and cool space dudes doing space stuff. But Zach, I kind of want to change the topic a little bit and go a little bit more personal. Hopefully, not too personal. I think it's something that any of your followers may know how you hold your faith and how you're coming to the light of God in Christ and accepting Him in your heart has not only influenced you but influenced others and your followers and whatnot. If you don't mind, do you think you could share a little bit of your personal testimony, how you came to find Christ, what that story was like?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, I really had lost faith because I lost my aunt and I lost my grandma. So I was kind of like, well, if God made me lose these people, then is He really real? You know. So I gave it a year or so, and I just kind of stopped believing in God for a little while. I kind of felt like He was real because why else would I be in this situation? Why else would I be, stuck in this house all the time? So then, I kind of test myself a little bit, and I apologize to God and I say I'm sorry. And for some reason, while I'm in my bed, I kind of feel my heart. My heart feels like a really strong feeling. I don't know what it is, but I kind of felt like God there. And then throughout my days, I kind of feel God watching over me. It's like weird. It's like He sees me. Like I can like see Him kind of, but I don't know what He looks like. I just know He's watching. So,
Yeah.
Do you feel you're connected? Oh,
So
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you feel your connection to God is stronger than other people?
sorta, not really. I mean, if I meet someone, a new friend, or if I'm with friends, I have a strong connection. When I'm alone, that's when I usually feel God around me. So
Right, right, right.
I still feel him even when I'm with people, though. So
Zach, let
Right
me
on.
ask you. You've already established that Goku is very much so your strong role model. The person that you keep in the back of your mind. Kind of relating that back to religion. Not saying that Goku is God or Jesus Christ or anything like that. But when it comes to role models, role figures, spiritual heroes and spiritual connections, do you feel that Goku kind of fills that similar role? That love, that power, that will, that willfulness, in your
yeah,
heart that of Christ might do the same of.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Goku's got the purest heart, and sure, he might forget about his family to fight. That's in his blood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that I feel like even he's like I said, he's like an angel. He literally like when I watch the show, I know it's just a TV show and a cartoon and all that. Like I understand it, but like they did such a good job on the character and with the voice actor that it's like it feels real, to me at least. So like I can relate to it.
Right, right, right.
I do feel a higher spirit. I feel more spiritual when I watch Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, and then I feel spiritual with God at the same time. I don't know. So
Okay, okay. I'm feeling it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Uh, so you ever tried DMT or any other psychedelic or like speed or stuff like that? You ever tried any drugs in general?
no, I mean the only thing I've tried is cigarette, but that was back when I
Mm-hmm.
back when I was 18. I wanted to try it because I didn't know what it was like. So I tried. I smoked like four of them, and then I went home and my heart was like it was aching really bad. So after that, I decided, you know what, drugs aren't for me. No matter what it is, I'm not putting anything in my body like that again. So
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
Very straight edge.
What's your stance on anabolic steroids?
you mean like that makes people ripped?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, I think it's very unnecessary. I heard that The Rock did that too. Like I heard he like used steroids or something like that.
Right,
It
right.
kind of made me suspicious, and I was like, damn, is that how he's really working out? Because I mean, in all honesty, I think it's unnecessary. If you're gonna be an inspiration to people, don't be taking steroids. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
That's kind of the unlegit way to do it. Because sure, you have to work out in order for it to work, but it still is very unnecessary. And a true person, a true strong person would work out without steroids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Someone that's true to their word and true at heart would not use steroids. And I think
Right.
that's very unnecessary. So
So you would consider yourself natural.
yeah.
Do you have any natty tips, for listeners out there?
Um, a lot of people have that heart. People really want something really bad. Like you want something really bad, it's instant gratification. The thing I want to tell you people is it may feel like that, but just sink it to yourself and realize for a second. Do you want to cheat the way, or do you want to feel empowered and feel successful that you worked hard to do something?
Of
Think
course.
about that. And if you really do that and work hard for something, no matter what it is, you work hard, you'll see results and you'll feel so much happier. Because if you cheat, you just don't get anything out of it. You don't get any sort of happy or pleasure out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my
Zach, since we're on the topic, have you ever busted a fat daddy?
busted a what?
I think he cut out.
Yeah, he cut
Sorry,
out.
my microphone turned off for some weird reason. I apologize. We were talking about natty, so I was asking you if you'd ever, busted a fat natty before, if that's something that you've ever done.
You mean bust a nut?
I don't know if natty nut I'm not sure of the correlation. I was just curious if you
Yeah,
understood.
I've been busting nuts since I was like in middle school. So, you know.
Yeah, dude, I feel you.
Do you kind of want to go over the origins of that, like how you discovered it? You know, your sexual blossoming.
Well, I mean, actually, it all started when I was like a little younger. So, like, fun fact is, when I was 5, I got my first erection. You want the funniest story about it though is I was playing Mario at tennis on the GameCube. For some odd reason, when Princess Peach did her like special move, I got aroused by that. I don't know how. It's just how I got my first one. So it really started when I was younger, but I didn't start getting into that. I didn't know what busting a nut was till I was like 12. So then, yeah, I kind of got into that stuff. So,
Oh, right.
Hmm.
All right, Zach, I think we have just one more thing to ask you to close
yeah.
this out. And it says, do you have any advice for anyone who might be struggling with online bullying, with cyberbullying?
Oh, all right. My advice to people who are struggling with bullying is these people who are bullying you, they do it because they don't feel good about themselves. So if you're getting bullied and you're feeling insecure about it, you need to understand that these people won't last for long. They'll eventually stop. You have to be empowered, you have to be inspired. You have to tell yourself every day that you're going to survive. These the more people will start to stand up for you if you start to be more positive. People like positivity, and that's what makes the world a better place. You see, the world has gone so dark nowadays that you can't even walk on the streets and be safe. So I want you people to know if you're getting bullied and you're feeling very hurt by it, even on the internet, just know that these people are below you and you're above them. And all you have to do is have faith, be strong, and stay strong. And
Mhm.
that's all I have to say. So,
That's awesome. Zach, I do have one more final request for you, and I totally understand if if you're tired or whatever. But earlier you mentioned how you had mastered the art of freestyle at a pretty young age, and I think I'd be lying if I said that we weren't all curious if to see what that mastery really sounded like live and in person. So Zach, could you give us a taste of that freestyle mastery that you were speaking about?
sure. You have any topic you want me to rap about?
I actually
Um,
do.
okay.
Yeah.
Might be a little creative, get kind of a story going. Just do a freestyle about Dragon Ball, the original saga. Go from the Red Ribbon Army to King Piccolo. Go through the story.
Oh, okay. All right.
Awesome.
I got it. Okay. Yo, there's this guy named Goku. He's riding on a cloud. He's got superpowers. He's a super saiyan. He don't know that now. He's gonna end up being super strong. He's gonna become a warrior. He ends up getting picked on. His Dragon Balls are gone. He finds out that there's a Red Ribbon Army. He beats them up, climbs up the tower, and they all befall one by one. He ends up beating up everybody in the Red Ribbon Army until they're not satisfied and they're done. Then Goku becomes a legendary warrior. Master Roshi goes crazy, ends up being a pervert, and he ends up going so close to Bulma, they lifts up his skirt, going a little crazy. It's like a curse. Then Goku ends up finding out that there's another alien before him. So Goku trains. He ends up drinking the magic elixir like he got ripped from the gym. And then he fights King Piccolo. And he gets owned by Piccolo first because Piccolo's old and immortal. Head first. Wow. Oh my god. He uses his power pole. And then Goku ends up climbing up to the top of Corn Tower, gets the sensu beans, and he ends up eating one, becomes like a gold. I'm trying to think some. I'm sorry. It's like I'm not. I'm like so tired. I can't think of anything.
You're fine. You're
Um.
fine.
You're doing
Go
great,
ahead.
buddy.
Uh. He fights King Piccolo. Uses the Dragon Fist, and he ends up becoming famous. And he doesn't want any of the fame or publicity. He ends up climbing up Corn Tower and meets Kami, and he ends up meditating with Mr. Popo. It goes so crazy. He goes local. He ends up getting pwned by Mr. Popo. Popo's stool. um, I can't think of anything else. I'm really sorry. Like, I'm not really good right now. I'm just so nervous, you know.
Don't.
But like when I'm in the mood, like I'll have a Red Bull and I'm like really fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I
That was
understand.
Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta
I
ride the
felt it.
bull,
I
man.
felt it.
You know, that was
That was
awesome.
excellent. That was
That was
honestly
very
excellent.
good.
I'm sorry. I like right now. I'm like really tired, so I can't.
No, that was much
I will
better.
Yeah,
say
you're good,
You
man. Don't worry
followed
about
the
it.
narrative very well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd say that you captured a lot of the emotion. You,
Awesome.
yeah,
despite giving this extremely short amount of time, you covered the topics so well that you
Mhm.
could almost you visualize what's happening despite not being able to see it. And I think that's one of your strong points
Mm.
in your rap career is that you know how to paint a picture.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like when I'm freestyling, I want to be able to be big. I want to visualize it so that I know what I'm rapping about. And most of these rappers, all they do is just rap random shit. They don't have anything creative. It's just boring, you know.
Mhm.
I
Mm-hmm.
agree. That's in truth there, Zach. That's in truth. Zach, before we close this out, I think we'd all like to give you a chance to go ahead and plug in your stuff. Where can we find you? Where can we see what's coming out next? Where would you like us to find you? How can we hit you up? Um, how do we get in the Zechosphere?
Um, well, if you go on my Instagram, there's links to my link tree. You got YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and you got on my merch. And I believe there's another link to my TikTok, but I'm currently just gonna stop TikTok because TikTok's been a waste of time. So I don't know.
Right,
Wait,
right,
could
right.
you tell everybody what your Instagram is?
Oh
Just in
yeah,
case.
my Instagram is lil underscore Zechariah ZECHARIAH. You can find me there. I'm pretty easy to find actually. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Zach. Hey, you're excellent guest. You know, I think this interview, this podcast, has been the truest Zach conversation on the internet. I think you really opened yourself up more than any other time today.
Agree.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's
Agree.
good.
And
And I
Zach,
just want people to see the real me because everybody's been really just they've been betraying some type of fake me, and it's not really me. So.
Mhm.
I understand. Zach, I'd like to invite you to continue discussing, having a conversation with us about any topics that we didn't get to cover that you might have liked to explore, that you might have liked to talk about, anything like that after the podcast, after we go ahead and stop recording. But until then, I think I'm going to go ahead and roll us out with an outro. Again, this has been the Filthy Crew podcast. My name is Zach.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Trey.
And
And
our guest today was Zech Strumsky, and again, you can find him on his links. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys.